Good evening and welcome to Playmakers and welcome to Bell Book and Candle. I'd like to take a few minutes and thank everyone for your support to Playmakers. If you're not a patron or a season ticket holder, hopefully you'll look into that. For those of you who have been, we welcome you and thank you for your support. I want to also make mention of our next show that's coming up, which is Lend Me a Tenor, which will be in production in March. And now, we'll no longer hold the house and present you with Bell Book and Candle. Enjoy the show.
But now I'm caught and I'm kinda glad that you do that crazy voodoo, and I'm bewitched by you.
Oh, Pie Wacket. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? It's all such a rut. And you can't get away from it. It was just the same in Mexico. Well, you know it was. Were the Mexican cats any different from the ones you know in New York? Why don't you give me something for Christmas? What would I like? Well, let's see. I'd like to meet someone different. Well, yes, all right, like the man upstairs, then. Well, there he is coming in now. Did you do that? Why can't I ever meet people like that? What's the matter? Do you want to go out? All right, then, Pie Wacket. Oh, there you are. Who is it? Oh,
Miss Holroyd,
yes.
my name is Shepard Henderson. I live on the floor above you. Are you my landlady?
Yes, how do you do?
I'm fine. Are you busy, or could I see you for a moment?
No, of course. Come right in.
Oh, thanks.
And let me take your coat.
Oh, thanks. I don't want to bother you. I'm sure you're getting ready to go out. I am too. I've just been getting some last-minute presents. Well now,
Would you like a drink?
I don't think I ought to take time for that, and I don't know that this is altogether a friendly visit.
Oh,
You've been away ever since I moved in.
is there a problem? You should have called the agents.
I did, but, well, it doesn't seem to have done much good.
Well, what's the trouble?
The lady on the floor above me, I believe she's your aunt.
Yes.
Did you by any chance give her a key to my apartment?
No, of course not. Why?
Well, she's been in it. I've caught her there several times, and I'm afraid I don't awfully like it.
No, naturally, but how did she get in?
She says she found the door open. That may have been true the first time, though I doubt it. I know it wasn't true the second, and even if it were...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, well, I wanted to tell you now that you're back.
Yes, of course. Is that all?
Isn't that enough?
Well, I didn't mean that.
Well, thank you. You know, actually, I think your aunt is rather a peculiar lady.
Oh,
Is she by any chance studying dramatics?
dramatics.
Well, I can hear her at night through the ceiling, and it sounds as if she were reciting or something.
Oh.
Oh, you know about that. What is it that she's doing, or shouldn't I ask?
Oh, well, it is a kind of dramatics. You can't hear what she says.
No, and there's something else. Her cooking. At least, again, I guess that's what it is. Unless she's an amateur chemist. It doesn't smell like anything I'd be willing to eat.
Well, it isn't cooking, it's, she makes things. Perfumes and lotions and things.
It's not my idea of perfume.
And that is all?
You sound as if you were expecting something worse.
No, no.
Well, there is something else, though I can't be sure that it's she who does it.
What's that?
You see, ever since I caught her in my apartment, and I spoke to her, I'm sure the agents spoke to her about it as well, rather firmly, I'm afraid. My telephone has started ringing at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at midnight, too. And every time I go to answer it, there's no one there. I've spoken to the telephone company about it, but they can't seem to trace anything.
You think it's Aunt Queenie?
I have no proof that is, but...
Mr. Henderson, I'm most awfully sorry. I'll talk to Aunt Queenie. She's a little eccentric. But I promise you none of this will happen again.
Can you promise?
Yes, I can. I really can.
Well, thanks. I don't mean to be unpleasant.
I'm only sorry that I have not been here before.
You've been traveling about, I understand.
Yes, I've been in Haiti and Mexico.
Whereabouts in Mexico?
I had a house in Taxco.
You didn't by any chance run into Redlich down there, did you? He's that man that wrote the book on magic, Magic in Mexico.
No, he left by the time I got there. Why? Are you interested in that sort of thing?
No, not personally, but professionally. I'm a publisher.
Oh. Well, did you publish his book?
No, I wish I had. It sold like the Kinsey report.
I can't think why.
It was sensational.
And completely phony. They fed him a whole lot of fake tourist nonsense. He swallowed it whole.
Maybe they did that to Kinsey, too. In any event, I hear that he's ready to change publishers, and I'd kind of like to be his next one.
Well, if you'd like to meet him.
Do you know him?
No. But I know people who do. I can arrange it.
Well, that would be great. I bothered you enough. Let me get along.
Won't you have that drink now?
I'm-
There are martinis in the kitchen.
I'm sorry. I'm already late, but... And I may have arranged that.
Yes, of course. I'll have Redlich here to meet you.
That would be fine. You know, I've heard he's a drunk and a nut, but... We'll say, that's kind of interesting. Who did that?
My sister.
She's good. Ought I to know her work?
I don't think so. Nikki's very lazy.
It's a strange face. Who is it? Do you know?
A Brazilian girl who used to dance in a nightclub here. A place called the Zodiac.
I've never heard of her.
I don't imagine you would.
Why is that?
Well, because it's a sort of a dive.
But you've heard.
I've been there.
Well, I must be getting along. You've got guests.
Oh, Aunt Queenie!
Hello, darling. Mary. I didn't know you had company.
Oh, that's all right. This is... Oh, yes. You know each other.
Hello, Miss Holroyd.
How do you do?
Well,
Don't let me drive you away.
I have to go. Thank you again, and Merry Christmas.
And to you.
Goodbye, Miss Holroyd.
Well, you've met him after all. You still think he's attractive.
Yes, I do. Very.
Did you bring him here?
No, he came here to talk to me. About you.
Me?
Yes, and it's no good acting innocent. I'm angry. I'm really angry.
Why, what have I done?
You know, broken into his apartment, played tricks with his telephone.
Oh, that was because he reported me to the agents. It was just to pay him back.
I don't care what it was for. You promised me when I let you move
I
in here.
promised to be careful.
Do you call that being careful? Getting caught in his apartment twice.
Oh, darling, what harm did I do? I didn't take anything. Well, I did read his letters, but it's not as if I were going to make use of them. Although I'm tempted to now that he's told on me to you.
Auntie, if you do, well, you'll be sorry. And you know I can make you sorry, too.
Oh, darling, you'd never suspect, not in a million years, no matter what I do. Honestly, it's amazing the way people don't, what they don't even believe there are such things. Like, sometimes when I'm in the subway or in buses, I look at the people next to me and I think, I wonder what you would say if I told you I was a witch. Oh, they'd never believe it, I know they wouldn't. And I giggly giggle to myself.
Well, you've got to stop giggling here. You've got to swear. Swear on the manual.
Swear what?
That you'll stop practicing in this house, ever.
Well, you practice here.
I can be discreet about it. You can't.
I shall move to a hotel.
Very well, then. But if you get into trouble there, don't look to me to get you out.
I've others I can turn to.
Mrs. DePaz?
Well, yes, she's done a lot for me.
Well, I wouldn't count on Mrs. DePaz if I turn against you. I'm a lot better than that old phony. Now,
Oh, Jillian, please, not on the manual.
on the manual. Now then. Put your hand up. Now, I swear that I will not practice witchcraft in this house ever again. So help me, Tagla, Salamandre, Brazo, and Mysterio. Say I swear.
I swear.
Good.
I think you're very cruel
Auntie, if only you had a little sense.
and hypocritical. Why, sometimes I think you're ashamed of being what you are.
Shame. I'm not in the least ashamed. It's not a question of that, but Auntie, don't you ever wish you weren't?
No.
Hey, you were like those people you sit next to in the buses.
Ordinary and humdrum. Oh no, I was for years before I came into it.
Yes, but you came in late. And anyway, I don't mean humdrum, I just mean unenlightened. And I don't hanker for it all the time, just, well, sometimes.
Oh, darling, you're depressed.
I know, I expect it's Christmas, it's always upset me.
Well, you wait till you get to Zoe's party and see all your old friends
I
again.
don't want to see all my old friends again, I want something different.
Then come with me to Mrs. De Paz's. She's having some very interesting people, some French people from the Paris chapter.
I didn't mean that when I said I wanted something different. No, I think maybe I'd like to spend the evening with some everyday people for a change instead of us.
With Mr. Henderson.
Well, I wouldn't mind.
Well, it's too bad he's getting married, but then I suppose
He's getting married.
Oh, yes, quite soon. They're going to announce it New Year's Eve.
How do you know that? Oh, the telephone, I suppose.
Yes, dear.
Who's he getting married to, do you know?
Well, I don't know her last name, but her first name is Merle.
Merle. The only girl I ever knew was a girl I went to college with. Her name was Merle Kittredge. She used to write poison pen letters. I caught her writing one about me once. That's why we had all those thunderstorms that spring. She was terrified of them, and we had one every day for a month. It was most extraordinary.
You mean that was you? Oh, Jillian, you were naughty.
She was a nervous wreck by the end of the term.
And you think it might be the same girl? Oh, what was she like?
Southern and blonde and helpless.
This one's a blonde. He has her picture on his bureau.
And appealing, and underneath, a liar and a sneak and a bow snatcher.
And you think it might be the same girl?
Well, I think she became a decorator.
Jillian, this one is a decorator.
Now, there's probably more than one decorator in New York called Merle. And if he's engaged, well, that rules him out.
Well, I don't see why.
I am not a Southern belle. I don't take other women's men. Though I would if it were Merle Kittredge.
I can find out for you.
New Year's, that wouldn't leave me much time.
Oh, darling, you wouldn't need much time. Just a quick little potion. Or 4 words to pie-whacker, you once told me.
Yes, but I wouldn't want him that way. That would take all the challenge out of it, especially with her. Other girls can make men like them in a week. Why can't I?
Well, did he seem to like you this afternoon?
Not very much, no.
Jillian, you haven't fallen in love and lost your powers, have you? That's not what all this is about.
No, of course not.
Thank goodness.
You don't believe that old wives' tale, do you?
Of course I do. It's true. They say it's true.
It's the other way around. We can't fall in love. Merle Kittredge. I haven't thought of her in years. Do you think if it were she, I could do it in a week without tricks?
Oh, darling, it's no use asking me. I could never do it at all. But if it is, why don't you just pull a quick one and be done with it?
No. I don't say I wouldn't be tempted, but if I've got a week, I'd like to see how I am the other way. Hello?
It's me, Nikki.
Oh, good. I'll go get the drinks.
Oh, Nikki, dear.
Hello, Auntie. Merry Christmas. Where's Jill?
In the kitchen. Nikki, will you do something for me?
Sure, what?
This number. I want you to fix it for me.
Fix it?
Oh, you know.
Why? Who is it?
Oh, just somebody I want to pay back for something.
You can pull that one for yourself. I taught you.
Well, I know, but I just had to promise Jillian that I wouldn't in this house anymore. So will you do it for me?
Anything to oblige.
Hurry, dear.
Aditus Iphan Kapta Marnitus, Murray Hill, 64476. Hello, darling.
What are you two up to? Auntie?
I haven't done a thing.
Whose number is that you are fixing?
No one you know, dear.
Just a little Christmas present for a friend. No telephone for a week. Nikki, when will you grow up? How are you?
Fine. Merry Christmas.
Pour the drinks, would you? Then we'll have presents.
I'm afraid mine's pretty mingy, dear, but I've never been more broke. wonder when I was a kid why all the witches in history were poor, miserable old men and women living in hovels when they could have had anything they wanted. I've learned why since.
It's only because they weren't any good at it any more than we are.
Or else they got scared like Jill here. She once admitted to me she could hex the whole stock market if she wanted to.
Jillian, really, dear? Oh, why don't you do it?
She said she was afraid of the repercussions.
I didn't say that at all. Nikki, you still don't know what this kind of thing can do to you if you go too far. That's nothing to talk about tonight. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Now, Nikki, Aunt Queenie,
Ye and Jillian.
Auntie?
You two are the hardest people to find presents for. I got you both the same thing.
A book. Magic in Mexico. I see.
They're autographed.
why, do you know him?
Oh, no, but Mrs. DePaz does. She got them for me.
Well, thank you very much. I've heard a lot about it.
I hope you haven't read it.
I have, but I'm very glad to have it. Thank you, Auntie. Careful with those, Nikki, they're records.
Oh, fine, only I don't have a phonograph anymore.
I think you'll find you have when you get home.
Oh, darling, you shouldn't have.
Why not?
It's so extravagant. Or did you get it? Was it witched or paid for?
None of your business.
I know, but tell me.
I will not.
Nikki, you shouldn't ask questions like that. It's like asking how much it cost.
Well, thank you either way, darling. What are these?
A band at a party in Mexico. We took some recordings of the incantations.
Oh, wonderful. What are they for?
Try them and see. You'll be surprised. Like to have music come out of your ears?
No.
That's the least of them.
I'll take them to Nathan's party with me. Do you think they'll help me make any headway with them?
Well, the man had quite a way with him. He had a mink as his familiar.
Darling, how sweet. Where did you find this? Oh, it's lovely, simply lovely. What does it do?
It makes you look fascinating.
Oh, you mean?
No, Auntie, I'm afraid it has no powers. I just thought it was pretty.
Oh, it is, very. I love it.
Why didn't you just tell her that it had powers and you weren't going to say what they were? Then she'd have so much fun wearing it, trying to figure it out.
Jillian doesn't tell lies ever.
No, but she manages to hold out plenty.
Ugh.
Here's something that's got powers for you, Auntie. It's an unguent. You feel colors. Quite a sensation. Kind of sexy, too. I got that at a new little shop I found. It's a kind of paint for summoning. You just paint it on an image, a drawing or photograph of anyone you want, then set light to it. And they have to come. I hope it works for you. I couldn't even get it to light. Hey, let's try it now.
Well, whom do we want here?
Him.
No, I know.
Who?
This man.
Redledge? What on earth for?
I want to meet him. I promised I'd introduce him to somebody. I thought I'd find someone who knew him, but this will save a lot of time. It's got his picture on the back. Auntie, you don't mind if I cut it off?
Oh, no, not if I can stay and watch.
Well, how soon is it supposed to work?
It depends on how far they have to come, but within 24 hours nowadays, I should think. You don't have to stay home if that's what you're worried about. He'll probably show up at your party later tonight.
All right then. Well, Nikki, put out the lights, would you? And Auntie, the cauldron.
There's a little brush in the cork.
Found it. Any words?
They said not.
All right then. That's good.
Oh, you are a marvel. Not already. Jill, that is genius.
Of course it isn't. Go see who it is.
Yes.
Is Miss Holroyd in?
Oh, Mr. Henderson, come in, won't you?
Yes, I'm sorry if I'm disturbing you. Are you having indoor fireworks?
No, this is just some nonsense that my sister gave me. This is my sister, Mr. Henderson.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Please go on with what you were doing.
Oh no, we finished already, really. What can I do for you?
I was just wondering if I could use your telephone. Mine's really turned into a problem child. It's gone right out of order.
Yes, of course. Help yourself.
Oh, well, thanks.
Well, I really must be going.
You know, it was working right after I left here, but for the last 15 minutes, I've been getting nothing but a lot of hiccups in my ear. Oh, busy. May I wait just a minute?
Oh, yes, of course. Maybe you'd like to report your line.
Oh, thanks.
Nikki, that piece of paper you put away, I'd like to see it for a moment.
Hello, operator. I'd like to report a line out of order. Murray Hill 64476. I don't know. I can't get a dialing tone.
It was Nikki.
I know.
But I think it's worked out wonderfully.
If you would, thanks.
Well, goodbye, dear, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Henderson. It was a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well.
Oh, can I leave those records here? I'm going to a cocktail party first, and I don't want them to get broken, you know, underneath the coats on the bed. I'll pick them up on my way to Nathan's party.
I won't be here.
I can get it.
Oh. Well, all right.
Well, really, if Nikki
I
can.
know, Auntie, it's not fair. It's not a bit fair. Take her away, Nikki.
Goodbye, Mr. Henderson. I hope your telephone gets well soon.
I'll try just once more, then I'll go too.
Oh, there's no hurry.
You're going out, aren't you?
Yes, but it's not important.
Luck. You don't have to go.
I'll be back.
Is Miss Kittredge there? Merle, it's me. I got delayed. Yes, darling, the phone's gone off again. No, they're fed up with my complaints by now. Look, I'm getting a taxi in 2 shakes and... What? Oh, that would be wonderful. I'll just meet you there then. Wait, what? What's your idea? Tonight? Announce it tonight? Well, that's wonderful. I thought you were so keen on New Year's Eve, but... No, that's fine. Let's tell them all. Yes, I've got everything. All the presents, yours, theirs, everyone's. Yes, I've got that too, though why you want it, I can't imagine. All right, darling. Soon. 15 minutes? Okay. Goodbye. I didn't hear you come back in. Say, is that your cat? I've seen him on the stairs watching me come in and out. What's his name?
Hi, Wackett.
How's that?
Hi, Wackett.
Well, hello, little... Ouch!
Did he scratch you?
No, he didn't make it.
Bad cat.
Well, I bothered you enough.
Won't you have that drink now?
I'm sorry. I know it must sound as if I were trying to duck it. I'm not, actually, but I'm already late, and tonight's rather a special night, so if you don't mind.
No, of course not.
Well, I'll be getting along now.
Hi. Hi, Wackett. This is Mr. Henderson. Mr. Shepherd Henderson. Praterum, Salvat, Pratares, his sister.
What was that?
I was talking to the cat. I think he wants to go out.
I just want to hear your voice.
Do you like my voice?
No, I don't like anything about you. I'm insane over you. You know that, don't you?
Well,
Well, don't you?
well, you have made it charmingly apparent.
You know, there's a wonderful, suspended, timeless feeling to this moment, and the two of us like this. I feel spellbound.
Stay that way.
I don't ever want to move. Tell me, what are you thinking?
Nothing. Not a thing. You?
Nothing either. I can't think, certainly not with you this close to me. I've got to start, though, very soon.
What about?
A lot of things. I'd better make myself that drink now. Can I fix you one?
No thanks.
Do you happen to know what time it is?
No.
It's 10 o'clock. A good 3 hours since I came in here, since I went to that door to leave.
Well,
Well, doesn't that seem strange to you?
not strange. It happened.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
Do you mind?
I ought to mind.
Why?
Well, in the first place, I was on my way to a party.
And you found something you'd rather do.
That, my darling, is an understatement. I found something I couldn't resist doing.
You don't have to explain it to me.
It's wonderful. Look, tell me, what has it all meant to you?
Meant.
These last 3 hours.
They've been enchantment.
And that's all?
What more?
I don't know, but I've got this feeling deep down that somewhere I must be in love with you. Are you at all in love with me?
I like you more than I can say.
Yes, that's not what I asked you.
Do we have to talk about it?
Yes, I've got to know.
Why?
Because I've got to face a few decisions.
Now?
I should think so. There are people waiting on me, wondering where the hell I am. There's a whole future that's either got completely shot to hell or else... Well, I've got to do some fast talking, and I want to know where I stand. Where we stand.
What do you want to do?
Right at this moment, I never want to stop seeing you. Is it possible that I can never stop seeing you?
You can see me all you like.
It hasn't hit you as it has me.
I want you just as much as you want me.
You do?
And I'm happy, I'm very happy.
Look, Jill, I haven't asked you, but I guess you're free and unattached.
Yes.
Well, that makes a difference for you. You don't have to ask yourself questions. I do. I'm not free. The thing I've got to decide is, am I going to cut free?
Do you want to?
I've told you I want to, but what future is there in it?
It can go on like this.
For always?
Does anything go on for always?
One likes to think that some things can. Look, I don't know whether this is one of those things that burns itself out, but if it is, it's a hell of a fire, I know that. Maybe that's the kind that burns out the quickest. Look, I know it's crazy to talk about love yet, but I just wish I could be sure
Of what?
that this is it. If it's not, it's a pretty good facsimile.
I think that for me too.
And that will do for an answer. And now, I think I'd like to use your telephone.
Go right ahead.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to be left alone.
Of course.
You're amazing. You know that, right? More than amazing.
Shep, it has hit me quite hard.
Is that Miss Carlson's apartment? Yes, I'd like to speak to Miss Kittredge, please. And is there somewhere where she can sit down? I mean, where she can talk without being disturbed. Yes, if you would. Merle, it's me. I'm out someplace. That's what I'm calling about. I can't get there. No, I can't get there. I can't get there. No, not at all. Never. Look, it suddenly occurred to me that it's no good. It's no use. Us. I mean us. Yes, I'm afraid that is exactly what I mean. Look, I don't understand it. I can't explain it myself. Yes. Say it all. Yes. Ouch! No, I'm still here. Go on. Get it all out. I deserve it. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm that. Yes, I guess I'm that too. No, wait a minute. I'm not that. I guess I am. You can come back now.
Well,
It's done. Do you want to know about it?
do you want to tell me?
I'd rather not.
Then you needn't.
Thank you.
Are you unhappy about it?
No, not at all. I ought to be, but I'm not. Say, do you know something? We haven't eaten.
No.
Well, let's go out for champagne and caviar. How does that sound?
That sounds just right.
It's ridiculous that I know nothing about you, just nothing at all.
Well, what do you want to know?
Nothing at the moment except about us. Tell me, when did you first know that you liked me?
The moment I saw you, 3 days ago, coming down the stairs, I thought, that's for me.
Oh, you did, didn't you? And you did nothing about it.
What can a nice girl do?
Well, you could have asked me down for a cocktail.
I offered you a cocktail this afternoon. 3 times, in fact. You wouldn't have it.
Isn't that extraordinary? I never even noticed you. I'm sorry, that sounds awful.
I'm not hurt.
Was that why you arranged for me to meet Redledge? As a sort of come-on?
I guess, in a way.
Well, now you need to, though. I'd still like to meet him.
You'll meet him.
Oh, you've done something about it.
I've set things in motion.
When are you meeting him?
Soon.
Oh, damn, don't answer that.
Why? Do you mind if I do?
No, I don't mind. Why?
Nothing. It was just an idea. We're going out anyway. Hello?
Miss Holroyd,
Yes, who is it, please?
this is Sidney Redledge. You don't know me, but
Mr. Redledge. Yes, of course. Come right in.
Well, that is the damnedest thing. You weren't expecting him, were you?
Well, not quite like that. Darling, close the door.
Oh, yes.
How do you do, Mr. Redledge?
do you know me?
I've seen your picture on your book. Come in, won't you? This is Mr. Henderson, Mr. Shepard Henderson.
Oh, you've been writing to me.
Yes, and you've not been answering. How do you do?
Well, I've been out of town for a few weeks. I just got in on the train about an hour ago. Look, I know Christmas Eve is hardly the time for a call, but I was sitting at a bar just now, around the corner, going through my wallet, and I came through your address.
Who gave you my address?
Yeah, some people in Mexico. I wrote down there about a mask I'd seen, and they wrote back that you bought it. Kind of a long silver mask with big eyes. Perhaps you'd let me photograph it for an article I'm doing.
Oh, well, it's coming in the trunk I sent by rail.
You don't know what that mask is, do you?
No. What?
Just one of the most potent witch masks there is.
They told me that, but really.
But you didn't believe it. Nobody does. Say, would you mind offering a poor author a glass of Christmas beer?
Yes, yes, of course. Bourbon or scotch?
It doesn't make a difference.
Water or soda?
Either one, straight, with a water chaser.
Oh, I see, Juliet.
No, thank you.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize. Oh, you're still here.
Yes.
Vicky, this is Mr. Redridge, Mr. Sidney Redridge, my sister.
Well, what do you know?
Pretty good, huh?
I'll say.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So tell me, Mr. Redlich, are you working on anything more about witchcraft?
Just getting ready to.
Well, that interests me very much.
Oh, I'm just about to get my room in Brooklyn back.
Brooklyn.
That's where I write best. Boy, is this one gonna knock them out?
More witchcraft. Where this time?
Here.
Here.
Yes, in New York. Witchcraft around us. What do you think of that for a title?
It sounds provocative. What does it mean exactly?
Well, it means exactly what it says. Witchcraft around us. All around us.
Is it?
It is, lady. You wouldn't believe this, but you probably thought that sort of thing was confined to the tropics and jungles if you thought of it at all. So did I until now.
Oh.
Well, you really won't believe this, but there's a whole community devoted to just this sort of thing.
That's a novel idea.
Hell, it's not an idea, it's true.
How do you know?
Tell us.
I know. I met a couple. Met them through my book. They've let me in on a few things. And from there, well, I made it my business to find out. You just don't know. But they have their regular hangouts, like in bars and cafes and restaurants. Ever heard of a nightclub called the Zodiac Club?
Yes.
Oh, that drawing, Jillian.
What drawing?
There.
Sure. She used to dance there. Who did that?
Nikki did.
Oh. I suppose you never thought she was one.
No.
Ever seen the proprietor there?
Don't tell me he's a witch too.
When it's a man, it's a warlock. Maybe you'd let me have that for an illustration too.
I dare say Jill would loan it to you.
Oh, sure. Maybe you don't take it seriously.
Oh, but we do.
Go on. This is fascinating. Tell us more about them and their doings.
Well, then there are the places where they hold their meetings. You probably thought of witches holding their meetings on blasted heat, don't you?
I don't think I think of the meeting at all.
Where do they meet, do you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, some of the main places they have is up in Harlem. It's an old vaudeville house. And then there's another one down in the village. And sometimes they hold their meetings in a suite of offices in the top of the Woolworth building. You'd be amazed at what's going on right underneath your nose you don't know anything about. Talk about spy rings and organized crime. They're nothing compared to it.
What do they look like? The witches, I mean.
Like anyone else. Maybe you, or maybe you. You couldn't tell it, but I could.
You mean you can recognize them?
Like a shot.
How?
Well, it's a something, a feeling. I don't know, but if one were to walk in here right now, I'd know.
Jill, I wonder if we know any.
I wonder.
I bet you do. I bet I could name names
Oh,
that...
do, please.
Can't do that. Can't be any names in my book. Though I've got protection up to a point.
Protection.
Yeah, there's this one witch. She's pretty high up in the movement. She's pretty good at it. I got her on my side.
Who's that?
Mrs. No, I better not. but you probably recognize her. She kind of flaunts it, you know. They usually do. I mean, she goes to opening nights in robes with Kabbalistic, what do you call it, all over them.
Mrs. DePaz?
That's the one, and I'm going up to her place tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, she's got a party. And I'll tell you another thing about them witches. They don't cry, they don't blush, or shed tears.
Oh, really?
And if you throw them in water, they float.
Has anyone tried that lately?
And they almost always have pets. You know, familiar spirits that have to do their master's biddings.
Chef, we ought to go.
Oh, sure. Now everyone's bored.
Oh, no, I'm not really. I'm sure there's a lot of it going around.
Like influenza.
Yeah, sure. Make fun of it. I'm used to that.
No, I really am interested, Mr. Redledge. I understand your contract with Selden's is just about up.
It is.
Well, I'd love it if you'd lunch with my partner one day.
Oh, I'd love to. And say, when that mask shows up, I'll give you my address.
Give it to me too, will you?
Mickey, you know where Aunt Queenie was going tonight?
No, where?
Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea.
What do you want me to do?
Stop it, can you?
Sure.
Here you go, Miss Roy.
Thank you. I'm sorry to have to turn you out like this, but
We do have to be going. I'll be in touch with you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You know, I think I'd like to hear more about this book. I'll walk along with you.
Sure, I know a place where we can get a drink.
Fine.
Well, goodbye then.
I'll be calling you.
I know this place down on 3rd Street. It's called the Cloven Hoof. Maybe we could stop in for a drink?
What an extraordinary evening. He seemed to think that I was one of them. And now, darling, if we're going to have our first meal together,
I'll go get my wrap. What are you going to do with all those presents?
have them sit around in the morning, I guess, with apologies. Most of them. All these presents and none for you.
Give me one.
Which?
Anyone. Just shut your eyes and dip. Go on.
How extraordinary.
What is it? What is it?
Open it. It's a locket. A rather revolting locket, actually. I was giving it to someone. It has some significance or other.
Do you still want to give it to them?
No.
It's beautiful.
You think so? It belonged to my... Damn it. Why can't one say my mother without sounding sentimental? You can guess what's inside of it.
You?
Aged.
Should have met you sooner.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Shall I put it on for you?
Well, if you're really sure,
I am.
then thank you. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, my daughter.
Merry Christmas to you. Shall we go?
Sure.
What are you looking at?
This place. The place you happened to me in. This room.
It's just an ordinary room.
It's not by a long shot. It may look like one, but
Well, you'll see it again.
You bet I will. Darling, come here.
Yes.
You know something? I've been aching to do that for the last 3 hours, since before lunch.
Is that why you wouldn't take me to tea?
My, but your nose stays cold a long time.
I'm cold-blooded.
I'd hardly say that. You know something? You get better all the time. To do things with, to be with. I've never known what to do with Saturday afternoons in New York except wait for them to turn into Saturday night. This one's been wonderful.
Lunching at the plaza, going to an art exhibit, walking down Park Avenue. The most ordinary things.
And what a little bit of magic can do to them.
Magic.
Isn't it? 2 weeks ago tonight we met, and they've been magic weeks.
Yes, I know. They have been exactly that. Enchantment. No, Shep, we are going to have tea.
First? Right.
Oh, Shep, not another pen. You who won't even pick up a newspaper.
I've always picked up pins. I know it's sheer superstition. Doesn't mean a thing.
How many of you got in there already? 4.
I have not. Look, I'll just throw them in the fire.
No!
Why not?
It's bad luck. Yes, all right, I'm superstitious too. Give them to me, I'll take them.
What are you going to do with them?
Keep them. They come in handy.
What for?
Different things.
Consistent, aren't you? Superstitious, yet you'll keep this thing into place after what Redlich said about it.
I think it's kind of friendly.
Well, not towards me, I don't think. Boo!
Hello? Oh, Nikki. Yes, well, I've been busy too. Quite busy. No, not how you think. Just busy. What can I do for you? Shep. You mean Shepard Henderson? Yes, I see him now and then. What do you want with him? Well, call him. Why ask me? Well, certainly not today. I just don't want you to, that's all. Maybe I could arrange for you to meet him next week. No, I can't talk now. No, I can't do that now either. All right, then, just say it over to me and I'll correct you. Yes? Yes? No, other way around. That's it. And count to 10 between the last two. All right. Nathan's party. I'd love to, but I really can't tonight.
Look, this is something I...
No, nothing's going on. No, don't come over. Don't. Hello? Hello?
What was all that about?
Just someone I've known for ages and ages.
Were they asking you to coach them in a park or something?
Yes, or something. It's not important.
Look, sweet, we've spent all our time together, all our meals and everything. It's just occurred to me there must be people you're neglecting.
No one I care about.
I've been neglecting everything. There's a stack of manuscripts piled up by my bed. Only I never seem to get there anymore. Look, darling, why don't you go to your party? Maybe I can meet you there later.
No,
Why not?
you'd hate it.
Do you know I haven't met a single one of your friends?
And you're not going to? They're awful.
What are they like?
Like. They're irresponsible and malicious and fun.
Well, that's something.
I'm not sure that's not the worst part.
Hey, what's eating you all of a sudden?
I don't know, I just don't like myself very much, that's all.
I'm crazy about you. Look, Jillian, when are we going to get married? What's the matter?
I must have missed a chapter somewhere.
Darling, after the last 2 weeks, you can't say this is so sudden.
No, but I hadn't thought of marriage.
Darling, that's the man's remark usually.
Do you mean you've been thinking of it all along?
Well, not all along, but now it's getting pretty bad. I never knew a man could feel this way before. I'm going crazy. I've let everything slide. My business is shot to hell, my secretary glares at me, and my partner won't speak to me. I can't stay in that office without wanting to get here, to get to you. And when I get here, I can't wait to get close to you. And even then, it's never close enough.
How do you think marriage would cure that?
I don't know. I don't care. I just know that we can't go on like this.
Darling, that's the girl's remark, usually.
You know that I love you. Marriage is the next logical step. Doesn't it seem that way to you? Look, Jill, why are you ducking this? Tell me. Be serious.
I just don't think I'm cut out for marriage, that's all.
In what way?
The way I've lived.
How have you lived?
Selfishly, restlessly, one thing after another. I don't mean affairs.
I'm glad about that. What do you mean?
Just one thing after another.
Well, anyhow, there's a time to stop. There's a moment when we get the chance to go one of two ways forever. But you've got to recognize that moment when it comes. This is it for me. I thought it was for you too. No?
I don't know. It would mean giving up a whole way of living and thinking. I've wondered sometimes if I could. I wished I could.
Settle down, you mean?
Well, you could call it that, but that's not what's worrying me.
What is?
I told you, me.
So long as it's not me.
It's not.
Let me do the worrying for you.
You're tempting me.
That's better.
The kettle must be boiling by now.
They don't boil if you don't watch them, huh?
I wonder if I could. Suppose he found out afterwards. That would be bad. What would all the others say? Don't look at me like that. I will if I want to. Shep, I will.
I'd like to hear that again.
I will. I want to.
I think you'll have to put that cup down. Oh, darling. Darling, wait, what do we say next? Shall I buy this place from you and then we can throw out all those other tenants and just unconvert it, hmm?
I've only got a lease on this house. And anyway, I'd like to start somewhere afresh.
What again? Darling, I wish you'd make me a list of your past activities. Primitive art gallery on 12th Street, bookshop, herb shop. I can't keep them all straight.
Shep, don't ask me questions about my past.
You do make it sound lurid.
I don't mean it that way, though there have been episodes. Do you want to know about them?
No, I don't think I do.
That's the way I feel about it all. My life's been sort of raffish, at least seen through your eyes. I don't want to talk about it.
Yes, but your childhood, everything that makes you you. I'm jealous of those things. I know you're not jealous, not the remotest degree, about anything. You knew there was another woman right up until the moment we met, yet you've never asked me one thing about her, who she was, or even her name. That seems incredible.
Yes, but that, whatever it was is over, I know it is.
Even so, just a little twinge of jealousy would be flattering.
Don't think I can't be jealous. I can be in my own way. It's my worst thing. Well, almost. That and trying to get something for nothing, having my cake and eating it too, but I'll be different from now on. I promise you, I swear.
I don't want you different.
But I want to be different, quite different.
Well, I won't stand for it.
But
I wonder if two people have ever had a romance like ours before.
very few. Very few.
Damn.
Yes. Damn few.
Oh, hell, there's life breaking in.
Tell it to go away.
We've got to start meeting it sometime, darling, and now we've got the rest of our lives together.
All right. I'll be polite to it.
Maybe it's Aunt Queenie. Have you told her about us, by the way?
Certainly, she's been tickled to death about it.
Not only eccentric, but immoral, too.
No, just romantic. Hello?
Jill, it's Nikki.
Nikki, please.
I want to come up.
Well, there you are. Interruptions.
We won't let her stay long. We'll get rid of her.
Hello, how nice. Thank you, Jill. Say, that's new. Is that mask Rutledge was talking about? Looks just like the German governess we used to have.
You're quite a stranger.
That's right, not since Christmas Eve.
Where have you been?
Believe it or not, Brooklyn.
What for?
I have a room there. It's handier for work.
Work. You?
Yes, darling, and it's not nearly as exhausting as standing in line for unemployment insurance.
Oh, Nikki, what are you up to?
I've got a surprise for you. And you too. Sid's new book, Sid Rutledge.
What, already?
Well, this isn't outlined in the first couple of chapters, but it'll give you an idea.
Well, that was pretty quick.
Oh, we've been at it night and day.
Did you say we?
Yes, darling. Witchcraft Around Us by Sidney Rutledge and Nikki Holroyd. Illustrations by N. Holroyd.
You mean you're writing it with him? Oh, what fun.
What do you know about this sort of thing?
I know as much as he does. You pick things up.
Well, this is a surprise, isn't it, Jill?
It certainly is.
We've got a surprise for you, too. Think you could stand to have me as a brother-in-law?
Do you mean it?
I do. Do you?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Well, bless your hearts. Congratulations, darling. To the both of you.
Thanks.
That was pretty quick too, wasn't it?
No, not at all.
You've been here all along, haven't you?
Well, not all along.
Shep, I'd like to talk to Nikki. Do you mind?
To exchange some sentimental tears,
Well, maybe.
I'll just pop up to my apartment for a bit.
Oh, why don't you read that while you're up?
Now?
Sure, it's good. It won't take long.
Well, I'll give it a glance.
Fine.
I'll be back in a little while, darling. Nikki?
Well, well, well. Marriage, no less.
Uh-huh.
What fun.
It is. Very.
Well, between the two of us, he is going to have quite the time.
The two of us.
Me and my book. I'm going to need your help. You know I never bothered to memorize those manifestos.
Invent anything you like. What's the matter?
Can't. Sid is a stickler for accuracy.
What? Nikki, you're not giving him the truth.
Of course I am.
I thought this book was a joke. You don't mean he knows about you?
Sure, but you've no idea the things I've shown him and told him.
You haven't told him about me.
No, darling, I told him it was I who summoned him. But if you want to take the credit,
I do not want to take the credit. Nikki, why? Why would you do this? Don't you know by now it never pays to tell outsiders?
oh, darling, I gather it's going to pay beautifully. I gather Shep has made Sid a very generous offer.
You mean that's what Shep is reading upstairs now? You can't publish that book. I won't let you.
What harm can it do you? There are no names in it.
But your name is going to be on it. It's too close to home to be safe. Nikki, Shep doesn't know about me. And he's not going to.
I suppose now you'll tell me you've renounced.
I have renounced.
Since when?
Well, actually, since about a half an hour ago.
You don't mean this marriage thing is on the level.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. You can't be in love with him. What are you marrying him for anyway?
Because I want to. That's what you've got to stop that book.
Well, I'm sorry. It's too important to you.
It's more important to me.
No, dear. I'm sorry, but no.
Very well, then. I'll have to do something about it.
You don't mean, hold on. I thought you'd retired.
Yes. But I'll make a farewell appearance to stop this.
We've got people on our side, remember?
Mrs. DePaz? Well, I'm a lot better than that old battle axe.
Yes, but she can take it higher, to the big boys. She'll get the whole organization in back of it.
That bunch of phony fuddy-duddies. There isn't one of them that gave anyone a flat tire without having to go to bed for a week. Now, will you bring me every copy in existence? Or am I going to have to go to work? You know that I can, don't you? Think it over while I take these out. Which?
Miss DePaz. Aditus, Itpan, Kata.
Nikki! I wouldn't do that if I were you, whatever it is. Well, what's it to be? Yes? Or no?
Not on your life.
Very well then.
Pie.
Hi, Latin. Elois, Visuale, Fidibus. I don't want that book to be published. Do you hear? Not by anyone.
Jill, watch out.
That'll teach you to threaten me with the organization.
All right, my dear. You've asked for it. I'm going to see that this little romance of yours goes on the rocks. Shep will know all about you, and before this day is out.
Oh, Nikki, good, you're still here. Well, say, there's Pie Wackett. We haven't seen him for some time.
What are you going to do with Pie now?
I'm going to put him out.
I meant now that you're getting married.
Hasn't she told you that he doesn't like me? Can't bear for me to touch him for some reason.
So, did you read it? Did you like it?
Do you want me to talk in front of Jillian?
Sure. Why not?
Jill, Nikki here's been a very bad girl. I'm afraid Aunt Queenie isn't the only member of your family to go in for practical jokes.
You think this book's a joke?
It's crazy. It should be called What Every Young Witch Ought to Know. Have you thought for 1 second that I'd fall for it? I've just been talking to Redlich on the phone, and he told me that Nikki here has been trying to convince him that she was a witch, too. I think that was going a little far.
Did he happen to tell you how he got here in the first place?
Oh, yes, I had all that, luminous paint or some such, and all these mentions of a Mrs. DePaz, who seems to be some sort of head witch. But look, Nikki, the joke's over now, so you'll have to call Redlich and tell him this whole thing was a gag, or else that book will have to find another publisher.
No, I don't guess any other publisher would do now either. Do you, Jill?
Nikki, what are you up to?
Nothing, darling. Very well, Shep. I suppose it was silly of me to think you'd accept it just like that. Goodbye, and no hard feelings.
You're outrageous, Nikki.
Yes. So long, Jill. You will be hearing from me later in the day.
Is anything the matter?
No.
You look peculiar. Nothing wrong between you and Nikki.
No.
Really, I don't think she's going to have an easy time of it with Redledge.
Shep, I've got to tell you something.
What?
Shep, I'm... one.
What did you say?
I said I'm one. I was one.
One what?
One of the people that books about. Nikki's one too.
Oh, that's what it is. She's persuaded you to come in on it. I guess that's to carry on the story. No, darling, I'm afraid it won't work.
No, Shep, you've got it all wrong. You've got to listen to me. I've got to try to explain something to you.
None of it's to convince me that Nikki's a witch, no.
You don't believe there are such things at all.
No, darling, and it's no use trying to make me.
No matter who told you.
No matter who told me.
I wish I could trust that.
Look, nothing's the matter, is it? Nothing with Nikki. Is she threatening you?
I suppose in a way she is.
Well, she can go to hell. What is it? Threatening to tell something about you to me?
Yes.
Well, that's easily dealt with.
How?
Tell me yourself.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, what is it? Questions about your past that you don't want asked?
Yes.
What then? What have you been up to? Have you been engaging in un-American activities?
No, I'd say very American, early American. Shep, you say you don't believe in anything supernatural. What about superstitions? Picking up your pens?
There's nothing in that. That's just habit.
Yes, but what's a habit based on? Isn't it just in case there were something governing those things?
No, not at all.
Shep, there are things that... There are the laws of gravity.
So I've heard.
I'm not saying you can set those aside exactly,
Well, that's a relief.
but there are ways of, well, altering things.
Are there?
Manipulating things for yourself.
How interesting.
Shortcuts to getting your own way.
And just what are those?
Chef, the people that live by those kind of shortcuts are the people who, I've got to say it, use magic.
Magic.
Chef, there is such a thing as magic. I know. I can do it.
You can.
Yes.
All right then. Go on, show me some.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, I mustn't. It would go on, it always does. I've broken down once already this afternoon.
Oh, you have? What did you do?
I stopped that book being published.
Oh, no, you didn't, darling. I'm sorry to spoil your story, but that's my province. I decided I wasn't going to publish that book after I read 2 pages.
I didn't say I stopped you publishing it. I stopped anyone publishing it.
Oh, that's very useful. What did you do?
I can tell you, it would sound too silly.
Oh, come on. What did you do?
I put on a spell.
And how does one put on a spell?
I used Pyewacket.
What did you do? Speak to him? Is Pyewacket supposed to go and call on all the publishers and convince them not to publish that book? Is Pyewacket a witch too?
No, he's a familiar.
A what? Yes, that's an animal who's supposed to do his master's bidding. Look, Jill, what the hell are you getting at?
I'll tell you other things too. The luminous paint, that was true, only it wasn't Nikki, it was I. You saw me doing it even. You thought it was indoor fireworks. You're coming here. Do you remember how that happened?
That was
Your telephone was out of order.
that was Providence.
No, that was Nikki. She put it out of order.
Well, I've heard repairmen. Why would she do that?
As a prank. That's what she uses it all for, mainly. Playing tricks. Turning all the lights on 57th Street green at the same moment, that, and her sex life.
Jill, you're going crazy. I don't know anything about Nikki's sex life, but Red Lunch coming here, my phone going out of order? Hell, even the lights on 57th Street, Temet, those things are coincidences.
They look like coincidences. They have to. You can't do it any other way. I can't bring Niagara Falls down to Grand Central Station or turn this house into the Taj Mahal. It doesn't work that way. There's always a rational explanation if you want it.
Then I'll take the rational explanation.
Just as you took the rational explanation of us.
What was that?
There, now I've said it.
You don't mean that...
Yes, that was.
Now, wait a minute.
Why? You thought it was strange enough yourself when it happened. You called the whole thing magic only this afternoon.
I didn't mean it literally.
Was it rational what happened to you here on Christmas Eve?
It happened.
How? Think back. What did happen? You came in here to use the telephone. You tried your line, it was busy. Then you got your number. Do you remember what happened next?
I can remember every single thing. You went into the kitchen. I made my call. You came back out with the cat.
Go on.
And I went to go to the door to leave, and I turned around and I seemed to see you for the very first time. And then you were in my arms.
You left out something. What did I do before that?
Nothing. You sat down and you talked to the cat and... No, damn it, no, I won't believe it.
What made you suddenly take me in your arms?
Because I wanted to. More than I've ever wanted to do anything in my entire life. And you think you made me do that? Why? What for?
Because I wanted you to, so I did that.
You mean I had nothing to do with it at all?
Sorry, Chef. These powers do exist, all kinds of powers. All you've got to do is use them.
You mean everyone's got them? I could do things.
Well, I suppose you might do some things if someone showed you how. Don't ever let them.
Don't worry about that.
It's bad. The whole thing is bad.
Why is it bad?
It's habit forming. You don't know. I do. I've lived among it. I've seen what it can do to you. It's like pulling rank or abusing influence. It can destroy you as a person. Well, now I've told you. And I don't have to worry about anyone else telling you now.
You don't have to worry about anything anymore.
You don't believe a word of it, do you?
I certainly do.
You do.
I believe that you cast an absolutely wonderful spell on me, and I'm crazy about it. Oh, damn, don't answer that.
Darling, if we've got the rest of our lives together. Aunt Queenie!
Hello, darling. Oh, hello, Chef, too. Now, I can't stay, but something wonderful happened to me this afternoon, and I've simply got to tell you about it.
Well, go ahead and tell us.
Well, Jill, you know how utterly lost I've been here without the use of my kitchen or anything? Well, I met a lady today at the Roxy in the ladies' room. My pocketbook fell open and some things fell out, and we got to talking, and we found out we had a lot in common, if you know what I mean.
I think I do.
I don't.
Well, anyway, we had a soda together, she and I. And she told me about this club she stays in, a place where I could do anything I want. She said there's a vacancy right now, so I thought I would let her introduce me, and I can pay my entrance fee right away. I'm dining with Mrs. DePaz tonight, and it's right around the corner.
Did you say Mrs. DePaz?
Why, do you know her?
Jill, you don't mean that she... Oh, God.
What's this all about?
Auntie, I better tell you. Chef knows. I told him.
Oh, dear, that's wonderful. And is he sympathetic?
Look, Jill, I've got to get something straight. You mean that she thinks she's one, too?
Oh, why, yes, Chef. How else do you think I was able to get into your apartment when the door was locked?
You mean you can get through locked doors?
Usually.
Could you get through that one if I locked it?
I think so.
Good. Come along.
Oh, no, I mustn't. I can't.
Yes, I suspected as much.
Well, you do it then.
No, Auntie. I've stopped. Chef and I are getting married.
Darling, how lovely, how exciting. But if he knows...
That makes no difference. I've stopped.
Oh, Shep, I'm sorry about the door.
Yes, I'm sorry too.
It would have been so fun.
I would have liked to see it.
Well, darling, since you're getting married, you won't think I'm deserting you. What's that?
It's Pyewacket. It must be his dinner time. Goodness, it's long past. I forgot all about him. Will you excuse me?
We shall miss you here.
Oh, how nice. I don't know why I had to come by and tell you. I just felt this impulse, an irresistible impulse to come.
Did you? So tell me, what's this place you're moving into? Is it some sort of witch's hostel?
Oh, yes. And there's a communal kitchen we can all use for our brewing.
Oh, for God's sake.
Shep, I know how hard it is to take it at first. I don't know how much Jillian has told you about it, about the spell she put on you.
Yes, I had all that.
Well, maybe I should loan you some books to read. They helped me a lot.
Did they?
Oh, yes. Of course, I always knew I had something, but I thought it was artistic temperament. I don't think I ever would have become a witch if my parents had just let me go on the stage.
You might have combined your talents, went into vaudeville and done card tricks.
Oh, well, now I never had any real talent in either direction, just itty-bitty ones. Jillian's the one who's really gifted.
Miss Holroyd, you don't really believe that Jillian has any powers.
Oh, yes, I do.
Name me one thing that she's done.
Wonderful things. Those thunderstorms when she was in college on account of you know who.
I have no idea who.
Your friend, Merle Kittredge.
Nonsense! Jillian has never heard of Merle Kittredge.
Oh, of course she has. I told her myself you were getting married. That's why she went after you with Pyewacket.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, but I promise you, she never would have used magic if she had just had enough time for the usual feminine methods, no matter how great enemies she and Miss Kittredge were.
You mean she went after me because of Merle?
Oh, well now, she found you attractive already. You have no idea how much she likes you, or perhaps you have.
Look, Miss Holroyd, what are you trying to say?
Well, Shep, with us, it's like the saints.
Saints.
Well, yes, only the other way around. You see, saints love everyone, just everyone with no thought of themselves. But with us, it's just the contrary.
Maybe I'd better read some of those books of yours after all.
Oh, yes, Shep. And then you would see how impractical, well, impossible love is. Oh, not sex. Sex is allowed. In fact, it's almost encouraged. But, of course, you must know that.
Oh, Miss Holroyd!
Oh, Shep, dear. Can't I be auntie now?
Miss Holroyd, I don't think that we'd better go on with this.
Oh, dear. Have I been too bold?
Pyewacket was acting very strangely. I had to coax him.
Oh, darling, I must be running along. I was late even before I came. I just couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist the urge to come.
Auntie, Nikki didn't send you, did she?
Nikki? Oh, no, I passed Nikki on the street and she waved to me. A rather funny kind of wave, but I must try. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye, Chef dear.
Jillian, I need to ask you a few things. Have you told me the truth about yourself
Yes.
and about us?
Yes. Why?
You didn't tell me that you knew Merle Kittredge. You did know her, right? You went to college together. You knew about her and me too, right from the start. And that's why you went after me, deliberately to spite her?
No, not to spite her.
Why then?
Because I wanted you.
Because you were in love with me?
How could I be in love with you? I didn't know you.
Are you in love with me now?
I am more in love with you than I have ever been with anyone.
Can you be in love at all? I mean, can you?
I don't know. I never have, but I have never felt about anyone as I do about you. How does one tell if one's in love?
One knows.
But how?
Could you go on without me? I think that's the best test. If I wasn't there, could you?
Well, I'd have to, wouldn't I?
And there's the answer.
But wouldn't I?
Maybe, but you shouldn't feel that you could. Why do you think it's hitting me the way it is? To find out that the whole thing was a frame-up of whatever kind. To find that you just haven't been there the whole time.
I don't think I knew
Knew what?
what I was doing. That it would be like this. I'm sorry.
Well, that's great. And you needn't pretend to cry because you can't do that either if I remember right.
I'm not crying. You believe it now.
No, I don't believe a word of it. Look, you people take off the spells that you put on because I think that you better.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I won't. I won't.
Fine!
Where are you going?
I don't know, but I'm getting the hell out of here for good and all.
No. No, you can't.
Oh, yes, yes I can. Look, I don't know how one deals with witches, but you watch me. You just watch me. And don't think, because you put a spell on me, that I'm coming back here, because I'm not. Ever!
Shep! The spell. He'll have to come back. Won't he?
What am I doing here? No. No, good God, no!
A dull moment around here.
Nikki, how did you get in?
Don't ask silly questions. Through the door. Where's Shep?
Out someplace?
You two haven't had a quarrel or anything, have you?
No, not a quarrel. Just a visitor. Thank you, Nikki.
Oh, what's this? Goodness, someone's been careless.
No one has been careless.
What a pity it got broken. It would come in so handy right now. Don't tell me Shep broke this.
You know perfectly well who did it.
Yes, you. But was it in anger or reform? Not just because Shep walked out on you.
Nikki, you've seen him. Where?
At Sid's place. He went there straight from here. It's no good you're calling. He isn't there now.
Where? Where is he?
That, my dear, I'm afraid I can't tell you.
He's not with Merle. He's not thinking of Merle, is he?
No, but I think he thinks he ought to be. After all, he may still be in love with her, underneath.
Don't think I haven't thought of that. I've been sitting here battling with the temptation to take the spell off. That's when I broke the mask. But if I leave things as they are, he'll still love me. He'll loathe me for it.
Yes, I don't think it was very smart of you to tell him about the spell. You know what it says on love potions. Shape well. Don't tell.
This is what happens to you. You think you're getting away with something and you forfeit almost everything. You end up in a little world of separateness apart from everyone. That's what I found out. Who's that? It can't be Shep. Shep's got his key.
Nikki,
Shep,
I want to talk to Jillian alone. Will you clear out? It won't take more than a couple of minutes.
sure. I'll just go get some cigarettes from around the corner.
Shep, won't you please?
Listen to me. I've got something to say, and I want to say it fast. I don't want to be here, but I was told that I had to be, so here I am. For your information, I've been to see Mrs. DePass.
Oh no! Why? What for?
For a hair of the dog that bit me. After talking to Redlich and to Nikki, they convinced me there just might be a shred of truth in all this stuff of yours. So I decided to take a fling at the full treatment. I'd heard a lot about this DePass dame from all of you, so I had Redlich take me up there.
Not to get her to take off the spell. Shep, no.
What the hell else?
Did she? Shep, did she?
Sure she did, for whatever it was worth.
How?
With a whole lot of hocus pocus and a very dirty old parrot. From what I've seen, it's a lot more complicated to take a spell off than to put one on.
be for her. How do you feel now?
I don't feel anything except damn mad.
At me?
At the whole business, and at myself, for having to go up to a crummy joint like that with my hat in my hand, having to memorize a little poem, and say yes ma'am and no ma'am to that dirty bag, that old bag. It's stomach turning and it's humiliating.
I know, don't tell me.
Not to mention being out of a hell of a lot of dough in the bargain.
Why? What did she charge you?
Plenty.
How much?
I don't want to go into it, any of it. The only reason I came here was that she said the thing wouldn't be done until I'd seen you and I told you.
Well, that was nice of her. To make that a condition.
Well, now I have and I can get out of here. And she's fixed it this time, so you can't undo this one.
And how did she do that?
How the hell would I know? She pretended it was something in that disgusting mess she made me drink.
I have never heard such rubbish in all my life. For her to think that she could stop me like that? It's all right. I'll let you go.
You're damn right you will.
But don't think that decision due to anything she did.
I don't want to talk about it, any of it. I've said what I have to say.
What about Merle?
What about her?
Are you going back to her if she'll have you?
The only thing I'm going to do is to go get a couple of stiff drinks under my belt and knock myself out. Try to forget the whole business if I can. I'll say goodnight.
You mean goodbye?
Yes, I mean goodbye.
I'll never see you again.
I wouldn't know what for.
All clear? What cooks?
You knew that's where he was.
Yes, dear.
That was your bright idea.
Oh, no, darling, that was his. All his. He got Sid to call her up.
It's revolting. He's getting mixed up in it, going to see her. He's too good for that sort of thing.
Now, wait a minute.
He is. It's cheapening to him. Scrambling about in the gutters of the supernatural with Mrs. DePaz.
Are you going to let her get away with it? Come back to us, Jill, where you belong. Come to Nathan's party with me.
Nikki, where's Jillian? Oh, Jillian, I have Mr. Rutledge outside.
Since when do you know Redledge?
Well, we met tonight at Mrs. DePaz's and then we left together when Shep went in. Oh, won't you see him just for a minute? It's important.
I can't see anyone now.
But you see, it's about Shep and Mrs. DePaz. Mr. Rutledge is afraid you may be holding it against him.
Oh, yes. He's the one who took Shep up there, isn't he? All right, I'll see.
And I don't think you should be cross with him, darling.
Don't you? Bring him in.
Yes, dear.
Boy, will he need a drink.
Good evening, Miss Holroyd. Nice of you to see me like this.
It's you I have to thank for taking Shep up to see Mrs. DePaz, haven't I, Mr. Redledge? Taking him there to be cured of me.
Well, it wasn't exactly like that.
No. What was it then?
Well, it was more like to put him back the way that he was before he met you, you know, like in Shakespeare. Be as thou wast wont to be, see as thou wast wont to see. Midsummer Night's Dream, when they took the power off the flower.
And Titania falls out of love with the ass. Thank you for the comparison.
Well, that was kind of putting my finger in the what I came here to explain was, I couldn't help myself. I figured at the time that you might not altogether like it.
Oh, you did? Well, that was smart of you.
Well, and then there was your aunt here who told me that you had always had a hate on old Bianca.
Bianca.
Well, Mrs. DePaz. Well, when I found out that the two of you were rivals, so to speak.
We have never been rivals. That third-rate, vulgar, self-advertising mail-order sorceress?
Take it easy, darling. She is about the best in the business.
It's people like her who make me wish we had the Inquisition back again. Do you know what she made him do? She made him come down here and tell me what she'd done. Told him that was part of it.
Oh, maybe it is, dear.
Not for anyone who knows their business. She can't be as bad at it as that. No, that was just a crow over me.
Now look, Miss Holroyd, I don't know anything about that sort of thing, but what I do know is that you're no slouch yourself when it comes to revenge and that sort of thing, and I just didn't want you to take it out on me. It was Shep's idea, the whole thing. All I did was take him there.
And now you're afraid of the consequences.
You, I mean.
Why don't you get Mrs. DePaz to protect you if you think so highly of her? I'm sure she wouldn't think a little thing like rendering me impotent beyond her powers. Or you might go to the local minister and have me exercised with bell, book, and candle.
Now look, Miss Holroyd, don't get upset. I only did what I was asked to do.
Oh, suppose you'd been asked to commit a murder, or introduce someone to a murderer who'd do the job for the sum of... Yes. What does she charge for a little chore like this?
Well, she varies her prices, dear, according to people's means. Oh, she asked me about Shep.
What did you tell her?
Well, I told her I thought he was quite well off. You see, I had seen his bank book and letters to his brother.
What did that send him back?
She said she was going to ask for $5,000.
What?
Oh, yes, I thought it was a little high, but then she pointed out, supposing you and he had been married, it would cost him a great deal more to get divorced.
Another pretty comparison.
Now look, Miss Holroyd, I don't want to intrude upon you in your hour of grief, but put yourself in my place.
I'd rather not, Mr. Redledge. But don't worry. I won't do anything to you.
Gee, thank you. That's swell of you, Miss Holroyd. There is just one thing. About my book. Nikki said you'd kind of put a stopper on it.
Yes, I did.
Well, I was thinking that you might, now that Shep's not in the picture, I was thinking you could just kind of release it. Well, not right now, naturally, but when you've nothing else on your mind, if you could just sort of flip it off.
Mr. Redledge, don't you think from now on you'd better steer clear of this sort of thing? I don't think you've got the temperament for it, or the nerve, apparently.
Well, I see what you mean.
Mr. Redledge, go away!
Yes, goodbye. Goodbye, Miss Holroyd.
Goodbye, Mr. Redledge. It was so nice meeting you, and I'll try and talk Jillian around about the book.
Oh, don't upset her. It's not worth it.
Well, darling, how do you feel now?
Feel? Feel?
Feel like coming to Nathan's party with me?
Maybe. But I've got a little job to do here first.
Old Bianca?
Oh, darling, you're wrong about it. She was very nice about you tonight. She really was.
Oh, I'm sure she was. Dear Jillian, I am so fond of her. Just an amateur, of course, but really quite gifted in her way. Was that it?
Well, sort of, but...
Amateur! I'll show her.
Now that's my little sister.
She, with her $5,000 and her potions and her... I wonder why he said it tasted bad. I suppose she thought if it didn't, he wouldn't feel he was getting his money's worth. It must have tasted revolting for that.
Maybe she gave him a candy afterwards.
It's going to cost her a lot more than $5,000 to get out of what I'll do to her. She's got a lot of valuable Chinese rugs, you once told me, and that mink coat. Well, we'll start with some moths.
Oh, Jillian, you mustn't.
Come to that, there's Merle, too. Be as thou wast wont to be? How was that, in love with Merle Kittredge? No, she's not getting him back, not if I have anything to do with it. Where's Pie Wackett? Pie? Pie? Pie Wackett? Pie, where are you?
I've never seen her like this before.
Yes, and don't stop her.
He's not there.
Darling, why don't you wait and pick it up until the morning?
I can do it without him. Let's see what I've got.
Oh, darling, you mustn't let the moths in. Think about the other people in the building.
Think of the moths.
Where is that stuff I got in Haiti?
And Merle, what are you going to do with her? Why don't you transport her somewhere?
Then have Shep go after her?
Well, then have her fall in love with someone else, someone very unsuitable like the garbage man, maybe.
Here. I've been waiting for an opportunity to try this.
What is it?
Something really fancy for revenges. Now let's see. What have we got of theirs? Do you have anything belonging to her?
To Mrs. DePaz? Well, I have her picture upstairs, but I don't think I should let you use that.
Well, I'll write her name then, that'll do. It'll also do for this poison pen too.
Ooh, a double header. This is quite the comeback you're staging.
Oh, Jillian, please, darling.
Auntie, if you don't like it, you don't have to stay.
I'll let her see.
Very well. She must keep quiet then. Bianca, eh? Has she any middle name?
I think it's Flo.
Flo de Paz. And Merle, Emily Kittredge. It's funny that I should remember that it's Emily.
These things do come back when they're needed.
Nikki, put out the lights. Auntie, the ashtray.
Here.
Good. Zayatos. Samurai, Elistote. Match. Damn. It won't light.
The stuff must be old or something.
This paper won't light!
Maybe the ashtray is damp.
That wouldn't make any difference. I'll use the whole book this time. That's strange. It should... Oh,
What is it?
we're not going on with this.
Why not?
I've changed my mind.
But Jill,
I've changed my mind.
there's nothing wrong, is there?
No. No, of course not. You'd better go to your party, Nikki. I'll join you there later. Nothing further is going to happen in this apartment tonight.
Something really is wrong. You haven't been defrosted, have you?
No, of course not.
Show me. Prove it.
I'll do no such thing. I'm tired.
So it's true. The old wives' tales are true. Well, well, well. Give me a call sometime, Jillian, when you're feeling better, perhaps.
Jill, what is it?
Auntie, it is true.
You mean you have lost your powers? You've fallen in love?
I guess so. I guess it's happened to me.
With Shep, you mean?
Who else?
Oh, darling, now? Now?
Yes, I know. It's a fine time, isn't it? I've been coming down with it all evening, only I just didn't know what it was. Guess that's that. I'm through. As a witch, anyway.
Oh, darling, what is love like? Is it wonderful? I've never had it.
No. No, it's awful.
Oh, Jillian, tears. Real tears.
And to think I used to envy people who could cry, it feels horrible. Auntie, I don't want to be human now.
Who is it?
Is that Sticky? Is that Painting?
Come on up.
Nikki, dear, how nice. It's been such ages. I'm exhausted. That 34th Street traffic. Nikki, dear, you must teach me how to handle that.
Yes, it's made you so late, I can't stay.
Oh, but Nikki, you must stay till Jillian gets here. That's why I got you here. You two can't go on this way, especially when she's so unhappy.
Is she still in love with Shep?
Yes, and he hasn't set foot in this building since that night.
What does Jill do with herself these days anyway?
Well, she has a job.
A job?
Yes, well, she goes to the movies. Well, you see, at first she went because they were a good place to cry in, and then she thought if she was going to have human emotions, she needed to learn something about them.
From the movies?
Yes, and then one day she met a lady there whose job it is to see the movies, and she asked Jillian if she'd like to do it too. Jillian sees 2 double features a day and reports on them. She writes them up in the evening.
Wouldn't she rather be dead?
Oh, Nikki, you mustn't say things like that. You must try to be kind.
Auntie, how can you, a self-respecting witch, say a thing like that?
Nikki, I don't want to be cross with you today, not about anything. Ever since your book died, I understand you've been quite discourteous to Sydney.
Sydney?
Mr. Redledge.
Oh, since when?
Oh, quite a little while. We have dinner together every Wednesday.
Well, I didn't mean to be discourteous to him, but things have been rather slim for me.
Auntie, Nikki, how nice. I haven't seen you since, well, not since. How are you? What brought you here?
Just thought I'd stop by and say hello, or rather Aunt Queenie thought I should.
Oh, well, lovely. Come and sit down, won't you?
Look, I can't stay.
Nikki, please. Won't you just for a little while, please? Nikki, please stay.
I'm late as it is. I've got a date with Nathan. I'll come back again. I really will.
All right.
How's Pie Wagon?
He ran away.
Because of
I guess so.
nothing for him to do around here, I guess. You know, Jill, you look different. Don't know quite how exactly, but
Better or worse?
depends on your taste, I guess. Bye, Jill.
Well, what did you see this afternoon,
I
dear?
didn't stay. There were 2 comedies.
You're very nervous.
Auntie, Shep is upstairs.
Well, how do you know?
I saw him at his window, just a flash of him.
Did he see you?
I don't know, I'm afraid he may have.
I'm not afraid.
I've been so thankful he's not been in this place, that I've not bumped into him, and now the feeling that he's just up there is more than I can stand. Let's not have dinner here. Let's go out. Let's go out right now.
No, I wish I could summon him.
Summon him.
Well, yes, and we can explain what happened to you, about your accident and what caused it.
Tell him. I would go to any lengths to stop his finding out.
Oh, but darling, why?
Something called pride, I guess. Or shame. You know, they're all new emotions to me, or else very old ones. In reverse, the other side of the coin.
Oh, it's him. It's he.
It can be. Help me. Open the door, but don't leave me. Promise.
Hello.
Hello, Shep.
Are you busy, or could I see you for a moment?
I have Aunt Queenie here.
Oh, darling, I must be running along. I haven't dinner.
But I thought
Oh, I forgot to tell, but I'll call you later, see? Goodbye, Shep. It was so lovely of you to drop in.
I'm afraid Miss Holroyd has the wrong idea of what I'm doing here. This isn't a friendly visit.
No, No, I didn't imagine that it was.
I'm leaving for Europe, and I came by here to get a few things. I've only discovered recently that I have an apartment here still. I told my secretary after that night to move my things the hell out of here and never speak of this place to me again. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive.
I understand.
Today I found my stuff is not in storage. I'm stuck with this place, no sublet. You can't expect me to believe that suddenly there are no tenants to be had. I see your hand in this and I don't intend on putting up with it.
What have I done?
You know damn well what you've done. Fixed it that way.
What did the agents tell your secretary?
I don't know. I didn't let her get that far. I intend on dealing with this myself.
I see. You mean deal with me? Sorry. I can't do anything about it.
You mean you won't?
That will end this discussion. I'll accept that.
Well, I won't accept it. This is nothing but sheer vindictiveness on your part, trying to hold me here.
I won't accept that. The whole thing is in your lease, which you could have found out if only you'd been willing to look or listen instead of jumping to insane conclusions. The owner here won't let me give a sublet clause. And in case you think I fixed that in some way or other, I'll dispel that illusion for you too. I don't want you in this house. In fact, I would far rather you were out of it. And I'll make that clear by canceling your lease if that will suit you.
You will?
Gladly.
Done.
Good.
Fine.
Finished.
Oh,
What is it?
I was just wondering if my secretary was still in the office.
Do you want to call and see?
On that phone?
Well, of course, if you prefer not to.
It's not my favorite telephone, but I'll take a chance. Look, I'm sorry I got sore.
I did too.
How have you been?
Fine. You?
Fine. How's Pyewacket?
He's fine.
Keeping busy?
Him or me?
Both of you. Hello, Miss Bishop. Yes, I'm sorry I flew off the handle. I'm at Miss Holroyd's apartment, and I've arranged to cancel the lease. Will you look after it? I won't be in the office tomorrow, so I'll leave the key here with Miss Holroyd, and you can pick it up. Is that all right?
Certainly.
All right, then. What? What rent? Well, haven't you been... No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll deal with it. Goodbye. I gather I owe you some rent. 3 months, to be exact?
No. No, you don't.
Why not?
Because I owe you far more than that.
What do you owe me?
Well, $5,000 anyway.
Huh?
That Mrs. DePaz charged you. That was outrageous.
Yes, well, I thought it was a bit excessive, but I had nothing to compare it with.
I wish that I could pay it. I know I should, but I can't.
I don't see how that's your responsibility, but thank you for thinking of it. Do you mind if I leave my secretary a note? She's terribly dumb.
How's it going? I mean, how's Merle?
She's fine, I guess.
You guess. Didn't you go back to her? Was that spoiled?
No, I went back to her.
And then what happened? I'm sorry to be so inquisitive, but it's rather like not knowing the end of a movie.
Yes, I can see that. Well, I went back to her, but it didn't work.
Because of me. What did you tell her about me?
Nothing.
She didn't want to know how you'd come to leave her?
Yes, but I wouldn't go into it, any of it. Beyond the fact to say that I'd been, well, bewitched was the word I'd used. I didn't say I meant it literally. And then something happened, something she had done. I don't want to go into it, but it finished things.
It wasn't a letter. An anonymous letter?
What makes you say that? Was that a habit of hers?
I'm afraid it was.
Well, it was a letter, in fact, that she had written to my partner when you and I were together.
That's right. You said he'd been acting strangely.
That was why.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
You know, this is odd for you.
What is?
All this interest, this curiosity. You look different, too.
How? Different.
I don't know, but there's something about you. There's something about this place, too.
Well, I've changed some things around the apartment. That's all the difference there is. Now, please, you don't have to stay and be polite.
Yes, I do have a great deal to do. My key. Will you give it to my secretary?
Of course.
And I've been trying to figure out a way to return this to you as well. It's the key to this apartment.
Will you excuse me for a moment?
Here.
Put it down, would you? I've been wondering how I could go about returning this to you.
What is it?
Your locket?
I gave you that.
Under false pretenses. I have felt worse about having this than over anything, like a thief. Please take it.
It doesn't mean that much.
It does to me. Please.
Very well.
Well, I feel better. And now I think I'd like for you to go.
Yes. Yes.
Don't stare at me! Please go!
It's just that it's strange to look at you like this. The way I see you now, it's sort of like a double image. It's like looking at someone completely new and strange, yet someone I've known intimately. Very intimately. It would be hard to forget that. Especially here.
Do you mind going?
Jill, you're not blushing.
No, of course I'm not.
You're crying, too.
Yes, all right, I'm crying.
But I thought that...
You thought we couldn't, didn't you? You were wrong!
Are you quite sure about that?
Quite sure.
Well, I'm not. You're different. You're completely different.
What does it matter?
It matters to me one hell of a lot. Tell me, are you not one anymore? Is that it? Tell me, I've got to know.
All right, then. I've lost my powers. There. Now you know. I think you're entitled to that much satisfaction. Now will you please leave me alone?
How did you lose your powers?
They just went.
Is that apt to happen?
Under certain circumstances.
What circumstances?
There are all kinds.
No, there's only that one. It was in that book of Redlich's.
Redlich doesn't know anything about it.
But Nikki does. And she helped to write it.
Shut up. If you have ever had any regard for me, please go now. What's the point of going on in the Olympics?
Because something has been happening ever since I came in here. And I want to make sure that it's the real thing. This time. I will go now. Maybe I won't leave for Europe just yet. I need to give these images a chance to blend. I suppose you have some idea of what I'm talking about.
I think so. It's been happening to me too. For the longest time.
It has?
I'm only human.
with a rose for their excellent performance tonight.
And we have something for our record.
Yes,
Now, we have
yes.
that.
Before I knew what you were doing, I looked in your eyes. That brand of woo that you've been brewing took me by surprise. You witch, you witch. One thing is for sure, that stuff that you pitch just hasn't got a cure. My heart was under lock and key, but somehow it got unhitched. I never thought my heart could be had, but now I'm caught and I'm kinda glad to be bewitched. Bewitched, bewitched. My heart was under lock and key, but somehow it got unhitched. I never thought my heart could be had, but now I'm caught and I'm kinda glad that you do that crazy voodoo, and I'm bewitched by you.